I remember the nights when the world felt too loud to bear, and you would sit beside me without a single word, as if your silence knew exactly how to hold my breaking pieces. You never try to fix the storms in me, you just stayed steady and warm, like a light that refused to flicker. Even now, when the hours grow heavy and the streets hum with memories I can't outrun, I hear you in the softest places of my mind, in the echo of late night laughter, in the quiet between heartbeats. In every fragile moment I try to rise again. There's a part of me that still turns whenever I feel the kindness in the air, hoping it's you, hoping the universe is finally bent enough to let our paths cross once more. Chapter, you were the warmth in every line, the meaning behind every pause. And though time keeps pushing us farther apart, your presence lingers in me like a gentle ache, the kind that reminds me I once loved deeply and was loved just as deeply. If I could place one truth in your hands, it would be this.
I still feel the warmth of your voice lingering in the quiet, the way you used to wrap around my tired thoughts and make the world feel softer than it really was. There was something steady in you, a kind of calm I kept reaching for, even when I didn't know how to ask for help. Maybe that's why your absence feels so loud now, echoing in every corner I try to forget. At night, when the sky hangs heavy and the stars feel a little too far away, I catch myself drifting back to you, to the way you my fears were poetry and my hopes were something worth holding. You had a way of making silence feel safe, a place where I could finally breathe. I hope it lands softly. I hope it reminds you that love doesn't disappear. Rest, it lingers, it waits in the dark with us until the heart is ready to find its morning again.
I still wait to the echo of your footsteps in my mind, a fading rhythm that once matched the beating of my heart. Some mornings I reach for the warmth that is in there, my hand falling into the emptiness you left behind. I replay the way you smiled when the world felt too heavy, how your voice could turn a restless night into something gentle. You were a quiet promise in a life full of noise, a soft light that never asked for anything but honesty. There are days when I walk past the cafe on 6th Street, imagining you still waiting by the window with that crooked grin. I pretend the door might open and everything will rewind back to the moment when forever felt simple and close enough to touch. But time moves like the tide, steady and unforgiving, pulling us apart no matter how tightly I hold the memory. Even so, your name rises in me like a breath I can't release, a reminder that love doesn't vanish, it settles deeper, quieter. If you ever find yourself wondering whether you meant enough, know that every part of me still carries the imprint of your presence. Ooh, I keep walking forward, but I look back sometimes, hoping the world might bend just once and bring you close after the last goodbye. I've been walking down the streets we used to know, where every window still reflects a piece of us. The careless laughter, the late night promises, the kind of love we thought time couldn't touch. But time has a strange way of turning warmth into distance and turning home into something you can't go back to. Some nights I still feel your hand in mine, not in the way memories usually blur, but in a way that feels painfully real, like the world is trying to remind me of everything I'm trying to forget. I pretend I'm fine, I pretend I moved on, but truth doesn't bend just because you wanted to. I replay the sound of your voice like a song I'm terrified to stop listening to, afraid that silence might erase you completely. You once told me I was your safe place and I believed it. Maybe too much, maybe that's why it hurts. Not because we ended, but because for a moment I thought we never would. You left your memory like a shadow that stretches across everything I do. I'm learning to live around it, to breathe without waiting for the door to open and your smile to walk through. But I won't lie, there are days when the ache feels new, sharp in ways I can't explain, soft in ways that still break me. If I could ask you one thing, it wouldn't be to come back, it would be this: remember the truth of us, not the ending. Remember the nights we held each other as if letting go would ruin something sacred. Remember that we weren't perfect, but we were honest in the way two people can be when they finally find someone who understands their quiet. brightest parts. I've tried to write you out of my story, but every chapter still echoes with your name. Not as a wound, but as a reminder of how deeply I once felt, and how deeply I still can. When the world gets quiet and everything slows down, I let the memories come, not to hold on, but to say goodbye in softer ways. And I hope somewhere out there under a sky we used to share, you feel a small warmth too. Not regret, not sorrow, just to come true. That what we matter. Maybe that's enough. Maybe letting go isn't about forgetting. Maybe it's learning how to remember without falling apart. And when I think of us now, I don't see the end. I see the beauty of the beginning, the fragile miracle of two hearts trying to love in a world that doesn't always make room for it. Oh, 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 oh. I still feel the way your presence filled the room, how you didn't need to say a word for my heart to fall into a steadier rhythm. There was a gentleness in you, the kind that made the world feel possible again, even on the days when everything in me was tired of trying.
I walk through places we once loved, letting the air carry whatever pieces of you still linger there.
Sometimes it's the smell of rain on old pavement, sometimes a fading laugh from a stranger, sometimes just the soft hum of evening that reminds me of how you used to lean in and make even silence feel like a conversation.
People say time heals, but I think time simply teaches you how to carry the people you've lost in ways no one else can see.
I've learned to hide you in the quiet parts of my chest where the memories stay warm and the world can't touch them. And even though you're gone, you're woven into everything I reach for. In the way I breathe deeper, in the way I look for softness, in the way I still hope, even when I don't understand why. The stars feel close enough to touch, and I catch myself wishing you were here to see them with me. I wonder if
somewhere you're looking up to, thinking of all the things we almost became, all the things we still could have been if life had tilted just a little differently.
But even after the stars fade and the sky turns quiet again, I find you in the places that matter, in the courage I didn't have before, in the tenderness I learned from loving you, and in the part of me that still believes we don't lose the people who shaped us. We carry them always in every step that comes after. I found the old photograph we took on that rainy afternoon, the one where you were laughing like the world could never touch her. Your eyes were bright, your hands were warm, and everything about that moment felt like a promise we didn't know how to keep. I hold the picture in my hands and realize how memory works. It fades the pain, but it always keeps the colors of what was real. And you were real in ways I didn't understand until you were gone. Lately I've been talking to the sky, pretending the clouds can hear me. I tell them about the little things, the songs you love, the way you used to mumble words when you were half asleep, the sound of your footsteps that somehow made the world feel softer. Some nights I swear I can still feel you, not like a ghost or a dream, but like a warmth lingering in the corners of a room I haven't stepped into in months. It's strange how love leaves traces in places you don't expect. The smell of rain, the hum of a street light, the silence before dawn. I wonder if you ever think of me with the same softness I hold you in now. Not in sadness, not in longing, but in quiet gratitude for the pieces of yourself you share without even knowing. We weren't perfect, we loved clumsily, we spoke too late, we held on too tightly to things already slipping away. But perfection was never the point. The point was that for a moment we colored each other's worlds with something brighter than the lives we had before. If I could tell you anything now, I'd tell you this: I'm learning to breathe again without erasing you to do it. I'm learning that letting go doesn't mean turning everything black and white. It means remembering you with the same colors you brought into my life. So here's my promise, I'll remember you in color, not as the goodbye we stumbled through, but as the laughter in that photograph, as the warmth in your hands, as the moment I realized I was capable of loving with every part of myself. Maybe the world pulled us apart, maybe we were meant to stay, but the truth is we matter, and sometimes it's all a heart needs to keep beating forward. I still remember the warmth of your breath on winter nights, how it felt like the whole world paused, just long enough for us to believe we were unbreakable. There was something honest in the way you looked at me, as if you saw not just who I was, but who I tried so desperately to become. Sometimes when the evening settles into that soft blue hush, I feel the echo of your heartbeat brushing against mine, a rhythm carried through distance, through time, through every side. promised themselves that a single night could live inside me. Long after the dawn took us in different directions, and even now, when life moves faster than I can hold, I find myself whispering your name into the quiet, wondering if the wind ever carries it back to you. If somewhere in some small hidden part of your heart you still keep a space where the best of us remains. If the world ever turns quiet enough for you to hear me again, know this: I never stopped believing in what we were, and I never stopped hoping that love as gentle as yours finds its way back to me someday.
There's a quiet in this room I can't explain, a hollow kind of silence shaped like everything we lost. I try to fill it with the sound of moving on, but every echo carries pieces of your voice.
Some nights I sit beside the window, watching headlights ripple across the walls, pretending they're the ghosts of the moments we were too scared to admit we needed.
I keep your last words tucked somewhere in my chest, still warm, still trembling, like they're afraid of disappearing if I breathe too hard. Funny how love can stay long after the people leave.
You once told me the world felt softer when someone finally saw you. I never said it out loud, but you were the one who taught me how to open my hands and hold something fragile without breaking it. But we both knew how fear works.
It sneaks into the space in between our sentences, twisting what's tender into something heavy. And before we realized it, we were standing on opposite sides of everything we promised wouldn't fall apart.
I'm not angry you left, I'm just learning what it means to walk through memories without drowning.
Some days I'm good at it, some days every street feels like your name, spelled in shadows and street lights.
If you hear me tonight in a
Song in a whisper in the quiet you can't shake,
just know I'm not calling you back.
I'm only letting the truth breathe.
You mattered in ways I never learned how to say. Somewhere out there, you're finding reasons to laugh without hesitation, building a world where your fear doesn't win, where love doesn't feel like something waiting to collapse. As for me,
I'm learning how to stand still without holding on, how to sleep without replaying the moment. You faded into the distance, how to look at the sky, and I wonder if you're staring at the same moon. And maybe one day this ache will turn into something softer, a reminder instead of a wound, a memory instead of a weight.
but tonight, if by chance you hear me, just know this isn't a plea or a regret, it's simply the truth.
You were the part of my life that taught me how deeply a heart can echo when it finally learns what it means to feel.
I walked past the old corner store today, the one where you used to steal my gloves just to hear me complain. It's strange, the door still rings the same way, but the world feels different now. Like something warm is missing from the air around it. I keep telling myself that people leave all the time, that life moves forward even if hearts don't keep up. But there's a part of me still standing in the moment. You said my name for the last time, soft, almost apologetic, like you already knew it would echo for years. I try to sleep earlier these days, but night carries a weight I still haven't learned to set down. Your laugh comes back first, quick, bright, unguarded, then your voice saying things I know you never actually said. But the heart imagines what it misses most. Sometimes I wonder if somewhere in your quiet moments you remember me too. Not as the person you left, but as a version of me who loved you without hesitation. I hope the memory still feels warm in your hands. You taught me small things I didn't know I needed. How to stay still long enough to actually feel the sunlight. How to speak softly without feeling weak. How to be vulnerable without apologizing for it. Those lessons live in me now, even if you don't. People ask why I hold on to something that isn't coming back, but they don't understand. Holding on isn't about wanting you beside me. It's about honoring the part of my life that made me more human than I was before you arrived. If you ever hear my name in passing, I hope it doesn't sting. I hope it brings you a quiet smile, a momentary softness, the kind that comes when you remember something real that didn't end in bitterness. As for me, I'm learning to build a world where your absence doesn't feel like a missing piece, just a chapter that shaped me in ways I'll never fully understand. And though you're gone, there are still places in this town where I can feel you in the daylight, hitting the sidewalk, just right in the hum of a song you once loved. In the hush before rain, somewhere in all of that you still exist, not as a person I'm waiting for, but as a truth my heart once held. Maybe that's enough, maybe that's what it means to finally let go without forgetting.
I think about the way your presence softened the edges of my life, how even the hardest days felt a little lighter when you were the one walking beside me. There was a quiet certainty in your smile, like you believed in a version of me I hadn't learned to see yet. And maybe that's why losing you still feels like losing a part of the future I once thought I deserved. On slow evenings when the world dips into that deep amber glow, I catch myself listening for your footsteps, not because I expect you to return, but because some memories echo louder than silence. I still remember the warmth of your hand on my back, guiding me through crowds, through doubts, through the moments I didn't know how to hold alone. There are days when I walk without purpose, comes the quiet pulse beneath every new hope, the gentle voice reminding me that I was once loved deeply, fully, and without hesitation. If somewhere in the quiet places of your mind you pause long enough to wonder about me, I hope you know this. Your name still moves through me like a small, steady light. And even after everything, somewhere deep inside, your heart still knows mine.
Think about the way your voice used to settle the room. How one soft word from you could quiet every fear. I tried so hard to hide. You had this calmness, a kind that didn't ask me to be stronger. Just honest, just there, just breathing beside you. Some nights I sit by the window and watch the skyline flicker like a memory trying to stay alive. The city feels different without you. Not emptier, just quieter. As if it's holding its breath, waiting for something I can't name. And maybe I'm doing the same, waiting for a moment that won't return, but still feels close enough to reach. I replay the laughter we shared on those long drives to nowhere. How you lean your head back and sing along to songs you barely knew. I miss the way the world softened whenever you smiled at me, as if everything learned how to shine just a little brighter. I keep telling myself that healing is just another form of remembering that missing you means I loved you well, even if time didn't bend enough to keep us in the same place. But there are days when your absence feels like a shadow I'm still learning how to carry, light and heavy all at once. If these words ever find their way to you, I hope they land gently. I hope they remind you that what we had was real, that it mattered, that it still echoes in me. In the spaces where love refuses to fade.
I've been standing on the same old bridge where you once held my hand like it meant forever. The river moves slow tonight, like it's carrying the weight of everything we didn't say. Funny how quiet the world becomes when the one person who understood your silence is gone. I trace my footsteps on the pavement, following memories like they might lead me back to you. But every turn, every corner just circles me into the truth. You're not coming back, and I'm still learning how to breathe without believing you will. You left your warmth in places I can't avoid. The coffee shop on 12th Street, the bus stop where we waited in the rain, the tiny apartment where we dreamed too loudly for hearts that fragile. I still see you there sometimes in flashes that feel too vivid to be memories, and too distant to be real. People tell me I should move on, that letting go is just part of life. but they don't know what it's like to lose the person who made the world feel less heavy. They don't know about the quiet battles, the moments I almost text you just to say I miss the way you used to say my name. Soft like it meant something. I've rewritten our story 100 times in my head, trying to find the version where we didn't fall apart. But every version ends the same way, with your back turned, with my heart learning how to break gently, with both of us pretending it didn't hurt. If I could speak to you now, I wouldn't ask for another chance. I'd only ask you to remember that we tried, God, we tried to build something real in a world that kept pulling us in different directions. And if you ever wander back to the last place you loved me, I hope you feel something warm. Not regret, not guilt, just the soft truth that for a moment we made each other brave. And learning to carry the parts of you I can keep and release the parts I can't. Some nights the ache feels sharp, some nights it feels like a shadow, but I know it won't always be this heavy. I know one day I'll stand on this bridge and feel peace instead of loss. Until then, I'll let the river take what it can. I'll let time soften what remains, and I'll hold on to the quiet grace of knowing that love, even when it doesn't last, still changes you in ways nothing else can.
I still remember how your voice felt in the dark, steady in a way that made the whole world breathe slower. You had this quiet strength that never needed to be loud, a way of holding my shaking heart, as if it was the most natural thing you'd ever done. Some nights I sit with the window cracked open, letting the cool air carry pieces of you back to me. It's strange how memories work, how a single breath of wind can take me right back to the moment you brushed the hair from my eyes and told me I wasn't as broken as I believed. I walk the same streets we used to wander, pretending the shadows still glow the way they did. When you were beside me, the city lights look different now, blurrier, softer, almost hesitant, as if they know something is missing, but don't know how to name it. There are days when I swear I can feel you in the smallest things, in the rhythm of a passing train, in the hum of a late night song, in the way my heart still rises when I remember how you held it. I don't run from those moments anymore. I let them sit with me, gentle and honest, the way you always were. If life ever brings us to the same place again, even for a heartbeat, I hope the world falls quiet enough for you to hear everything I never learned to say. That you saved the softest parts of me, that you taught me how how to breathe again, and that some of us survive the night because someone like you once held us in the light. I've been staring at the doorway you walked through months ago, still half expecting you to turn around and say you made a mistake. Funny how hope lingers long after the truth has settled in. There are nights when the silence gets too loud, when every memory comes rushing back like a tide. I can't outrun your voice, your touch, the way you said my name. All of it echoes in the spaces you left behind. I try to convince myself that I'm moving forward, that the world is opening again without you. But some days I feel the weight of your goodbye pulling me backward like gravity. It's strange how a heart can keep beating even when it feels like half of it is gone. I still wake up reaching for the side of the bed where you used to sleep. The sheets cold, untouched, a reminder that some things don't heal overnight. People tell me time fixes everything, but they never mention how slowly time moves when you're trying to forget someone who felt like home. There are moments when I almost call you just to hear your voice, just to know you're still out there breathing under the same sky. But I stop myself every time, not because I don't miss you, but because I know missing you isn't enough to bring either of us back. We were good, at least for a while. We loved each other in the only ways we knew how, even when it wasn't enough. And I guess there's something beautiful about a love that didn't last, but still refuses to fade. If I could send you one final message, I'd keep it simple. Thank you for the pieces of yourself you gave me. Thank you for the warmth in the cold seasons, for the laughter that still lives in the corners of my memory. And I'm sorry, sorry for the things I didn't say until it was too late. Maybe we were meant to meet, just not meant to stay. Maybe that's the point of some love, to break you open so you can grow into someone stronger. And when the night feels heavy and the world gets quiet again, I let myself feel every part of what we were, even the pain, because letting go doesn't mean pretending it didn't matter. It means learning how to breathe without holding on to the person who once felt like the reason you breathed at all. I still remember the way the morning light would fall across your face, turning every quiet breath you took into something I wanted to hold forever. We were two people trying to grow in the same direction, but somewhere along the way we started drifting like shadows it does. You said love shouldn't feel this heavy, but I didn't know how to let go of the pieces we built together. I kept believing that one more chance and one more night would bring us back to the place where everything felt simple. But the truth is, sometimes love breaks softly, slowly, quietly, so quietly that you don't even realize it's gone until you're standing alone, wondering how the light changed without you noticing. I still hear your voice in the corners of this empty room, laughing at something small, something I can't quite remember anymore. Funny how the details fade, but the feeling stays sharp like glass you can't pick up without bleeding. If I said I'm over you, it would be a lie. If I said I regret loving you, that would be another lie. The truth sits somewhere in the middle, a place where I miss you, but I know losing you was the only way either of us could breathe again. I walk past the places we used to go, and the world feels the same, but I'm not. People talk around me, life keeps moving, yet I'm still learning how to live without reaching for your hand when the night gets too long. Are we lost in the light still follows me into the dark, but I'm trying to believe there's a reason for every ending, trying to trust there's something waiting after the end. If you ever think of me, I hope it's not with anger or regret. I hope you remember the warmth, the way we held on even when it hurt, the way we tried, really tried to make something beautiful out of two imperfect hearts. Maybe one day I'll look back and smile without the sting. Maybe you will too. Until then, I'll keep walking forward, carrying the part of us that taught me how deeply your heart can love, and how quietly it can break. I've been walking through the silence you left behind. Every corner of this room still holds your name. The coffee's getting cold on the table where you used to sit, but the memories stay warm, they're refusing to fade. I keep pretending I'm fine, pretending I'm stronger, but every night I fall apart the moment it gets colder. Your shadow on the hallway wall still follows me around like a truth I can't escape even when I try to look forward. And when the quiet breaks, I hear the sound of you breathing in my mind again. The echo of your laughter fills the places I can't mend. And I wonder if you ever shouldn't take. I replay every moment like a fragile melody. Your hands are mine, your heartbeat pressed against my chest. I didn't know that loving someone could feel this heavy, or that losing them would take the very air from my breath. I'm learning how to let you go, but it's slow, painfully slow. Some days I almost make it, some days I fall too deep. But if love was real, then missing you is proof enough that what we had wasn't something I'm willing to forget. So when the quiet breaks again, and I'm left alone with every thought I've tried to shake, I whisper to the darkness, hoping somehow you'll hear I'm okay. But I still wish you were here.
I still carry the softness of your voice in the corners of my memory. The way it could turn the coldest night into something warm enough to breathe in. There are moments, quiet and unguarded, when the world slows just enough for your name to rise in me again. Not like an ache, but like a light, trying gently to return. I walk the long roads we used to take, where the wind moved as if it knew our secrets. Some days I swear I can feel your hand brushing mine, a ghost of comfort that lingers without asking permission. And though the city has changed, though I have changed, the space where you once fit remains untouched, patient as ever. Nights are hardest when the sky feels too wide, and I catch myself searching the stars for something familiar, a sign that you still think of the laughter we shared, or the quiet moments when breathing together felt like a promise. I wonder if you kept any of the pieces we traded, or if they live only in me now, shining in the places I try not to show. Even so, hope moves through me in small, steady ways. It reminds me that love doesn't end, it transforms, finding new rooms inside a heart that once believed it was broken. And if someday your path crosses mine again, even for a single heartbeat, I know the light will recognize you first, the same way I always did when your name found its way back to me. I still hear your footsteps in the quiet of the morning. soft like the echo of a dream I try to hold. I trace the dust on window glass where sunlight used to fall, and every golden line reminds me we were never growing old.
The world keeps on turning, but time feels frozen here. In every shadowed hallway,
I still feel you near. I keep reaching for a moment I can't bring back again, but the memory stays warm like the touch of your hand.
where the light remains, I still see your face,
Like a whisper carried on a gentle summer rain. Even when the nights grow long and I lose my way,
I find you in the quiet,
right where the light remains.
I walk the streets we wander through, the neon fading slow, and hear our laughter lingering in places only I still know. I carry every promise like a letter never sent, folded at the edges but the meaning never bent. I'm learning how to live again with pieces you left behind, and though the world keeps moving, you never leave my mind. The days roll on without you, but the truth stays the same.
You left a mark on everything, even my name. Where the light remains,
I still feel your grace,
a soft reminder I'm not standing here in vain.
even when the wind grows cold and the colors fade.
You're with me in the silence, right where the light remains. Maybe love's not meant to disappear, maybe it becomes the air we breathe. And though I'm walking forward now, you're still the warmth beneath my grief. Where the light remains,
I still find your trace,
like a melody that time could never take away. Even when the sky breaks down and the world feels strange, you stay within my heartbeat, right where the light remains. I've been walking through the quiet of this town, listening to the echo of the promises we made. Some nights feel colder than they should, like the world forgot the warmth we used to keep alive. I trace the outline of your name inside my mind, a place I go when everything feels louder than my heart. I never learned how to let you go gently, I only learned how to miss you in 1,000 different ways. You were the light that stayed when everything else faded, the soft voice that held me when I felt myself breaking. I keep reaching out in the dark, hoping maybe I'll feel the shape of you, the truth of you, the part never said, through fears we never named. And now I'm left with a map of memories, turning every corner just to find your shadow. I wonder if you ever look back, not with regret but with the softness that proves what we had was real. If you ever hear my name in the wind, I hope it feels like a gentle reminder, not a weight you carry. You don't owe me anything, not even a goodbye that makes sense. I'm learning how to stand again, how to breathe without waiting for the sound of your footsteps. But some nights when the world goes quiet, I still search the sky for the light you left behind. And if love found you somewhere brighter, I hope it wraps around you the way I never could. Fearless, tender, and hard. As for me, I'll keep walking forward, holding on to the truth that you once stayed, that you once saw something in me worth loving. And maybe that's enough, maybe that's the kind of love. I'll keep walking forward, holding on to the truth that you once stayed. That never really leaves. I still remember the glow of the streetlights on your face, the way the night felt warmer when you whispered my name. You were the calm inside the storm I carried for years, the shelter I never knew I needed until I stepped into your arms. Sometimes I walk the old road just to feel you near, hoping the shadows still remember how gently you held my fears. I traced the air where your hand once fit so perfectly in mine, pretending time hasn't taken the pieces I'm still learning to find. If love is a place, then you were the one I called home, the softest light that burned even when I felt alone. And though the miles between us stretch like an endless sky, I still hear your laughter floating through every lonely night. I keep the letters you wrote up close to my chest. Their ring fading, but their meaning stronger than the rest. They remind me that even the quietest moments we shared echo louder than the noise of every broken prayer. Someday the wind carries my voice back to where you are. I hope you feel the truth in every whispered scar. I never stopped loving the way you made the world feel safe, and I still return again and again to the place where the quiet hearts stay.